Welcome to Parent Coaches Unleashed, the podcast where we dive into the highs, lows, and did that really just happen moment of parenting teens and young adults. We're Carrie and Jessica, parent coaches, mythbusters, and occasional referees in the battle of hormones versus common sense.
If you've ever wondered, is this just happening to me? You're not alone. We're here to help you with real talk, expert advice, and hopefully a few laughs along the way. Need more support? We also offer private coaching, workshops, and speaking engagements because sometimes even parents don't have all the answers.
So continue listening as we tackle this parenting journey together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Parent Coaches Unleashed. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. Feels like we're in the dog days of summer and it's, just the middle of June. It is hot out there.
I know I just got back from walking Dallas and unfortunately I was wearing clothes for inside, right? I have like a long sleeve shirt on and I still have my workout pants on. And I was like, okay, wrong choice for today as I'm walking in because I was sweating and steamy and
Yes, I think that's something we don't take into account living in Florida. You dress for the inside when you're in air conditioning and it's a little cooler, and you step outside and it's like, oh, my nostrils are on fire. I recently ran into a listener, and we love talking to our listeners, getting feedback. This listener asked a question, and we do not have all the answers. Let's just put that right out there. But she asked me a question, and thought, oh my gosh, that's a really great conversation piece. She said to me, sometimes when she looks at her kids, and if they have a pimple or a mole with hair growing out of it, or their teeth look yellow, she points it out to them and she'll say, oh, go shave that mole or use your whitening strips. Or do you need like pimple medication? Like, what's going on there? And she asked if she's doing the right thing by pointing out
their
their
flaws.
flaws, or yes. So I said, my answer was, that's a really good conversation, because thinking back to when my kids were younger, there are definitely times when I've pointed out, um, I don't want to say flaws. They're not, I guess they're seen as flaws, but maybe we call them things that need to be corrected, because there's a time when it is our responsibility, like when hygiene is involved. Okay. So I remember brushing your teeth. Like, you don't want to be the kid with stinky breath. You want to take care of your teeth.
Well, wait,
And
can I just 1 second?
yeah,
Maybe instead of we need to be brushing our teeth, it needs to be about the health benefits of your teeth and staying healthy to prepare for longevity of the health of your teeth rather than the stinky breath. Because right there, we just pointed out that they might be made fun of. It's somebody else's pointing out something about you that's not because
okay.
I'm
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
Yes. To take the healthy hygiene aspect of it, and 100%. But let's face it, how many of our, let's call them elementary school kids, is it a fight to brush their teeth? Do they really care what the health of their teeth is going to be? I mean, unless they get a cavity and hate going to the dentist and have to sit there. I mean,
Well, but
is
okay, but if you say to your, let's just call it 8-year-old,
yep,
did you brush your teeth? Or it's important to brush your teeth. Please go back and brush your teeth. If you say, because someone might tell you you have stinky breath, or that it's just part of taking care of ourselves because it's important to have good hygiene. And this is part of how we take care of ourselves
right.
as a growing boy. Are either one of them going to matter? Is it really what we
That's
say
I
to
don't
them?
know. I
Or
don't
is
know.
it if someone does, then tell them in class later that day,
Well, I know
ew,
just
your breath stinks.
I'm going to tell you, I know just personally, one of my kids, it's not to say that they didn't brush their teeth because we had a routine. In the morning, you brush your teeth when you wake up, and at night you brush your teeth before you go to bed. And I guess I wanna say that for most part, they were, for
Compli
lack of a better word, compliant
compliant.
in doing that, yes. They followed their routines, they did those things, but they were not doing a good enough job, and they had bad breath. And one day, one of my kids came home and said, "Somebody made fun of my breath. They told me I had stinky breath." And we said, "Okay, what can you do to fix that? That's a fixable one. That's an easy one to fix. You should be brushing your teeth for 2 minutes each day." And to this day, without fail, morning and night, they put their timer on or a song on, and they brush their teeth for 2 minutes every day. So, it brings us
The
back to the
nat
question, what
natural consequences.
that was a
That
natural
is the natural
that's a
consequence.
great example of a
Mhm,
natural consequence,
mhm.
yes. But what's our role in it? We want to instill good hygiene habits in our kids. We have to wash our body, we take care of our body, we have to brush our hair, but those things don't always translate to our kids, especially how many middle school kids are walking the boys specifically are walking around with, like, mops on their head that maybe
Well,
that's
wait.
the
Well,
style, or
wait.
I know that could just be the style.
Nowadays, I believe that is the
That's the
style,
look they're
right?
going
That's the
for,
look that
yes.
they're trying for, so they might have worked really, really hard.
Right, to get it to
Actually,
look that way.
so wait, I have to say this. So as we're talking about hairstyles. Just yesterday, Ryan sent me a picture from his high school graduation, which was 2020, which was in the height of COVID. So he did not have the standard graduation, right? It was a
Okay, yep, yep,
virtual
yep.
one. We sat on the couch, but we had a cake. And so he was sending me the picture of him blowing out his cake. It came up in his memories. And he says to me, "Why did you let me have that hairstyle?" And I'm like, "What? What do you mean, why did I let you?" And he was like, I don't know, and I was like, "Listen, I remember having the conversation when you were taking your senior class photos, not of the hairstyle, but he had, and at that time, the style was the chin strap beard.
Oh gosh,
So
uh-huh,
it was kind of like Abe Lincoln. And I remember saying, and I, again, right, I didn't want to make fun of him
of course.
or criticize his style because he's pretty styling, but um, I just brought up the point, facial hair or no facial hair, you might just want to consider this is going in a book and you're going to look back on it. So, are you doing something that's totally fad and styled that you might look back and be like, I looked great? Or what was I thinking? I had no part in
Well,
whatever haircut, beard, facial hair, whatever
right.
style you had at that point in time. But I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
I think that's a little different because I'm going to tell you my high school graduation picture. I feel like my face took up a very little section of the picture, and then my hair took up the rest because it was
mhm.
standing up so high with all the hairspray and everything else. So that was the style then. I mean, like you said it yourself, he's styling, so
Yeah.
he was keeping up with the times. But
But you can't
so
tell, right? So, if okay, let's just take that for example. Let's just say your kid has a hairstyle that you don't think is very becoming on them, but yet this is what they want. They want to fit in because everyone else has this hairstyle, or they somehow want to get it to
right,
work
right, right.
and they like it. I don't think it's our place to tell them that we
That
don't
doesn't
like
look good
it
on you.
or that doesn't look good on you
But
because
what if it
they
doesn't? What if it really doesn't look good on them? Do you just let it go and not point out? I mean, I know I would probably let it go. It's on them, and one day they'll realize that they grow out of it and they're onto a different style. Sure, there are plenty of parents that do say, "That is not working for you. You need to find something else."
I'm sure. I think if it's unsolicited, if your kid does not come to you and ask for your opinion, that we shouldn't give it to them because all of this, all these stages and their choice of hairstyles or what they choose to wear are, I mean, they're just physical things that aren't interfering with their health. And so it's them trying on all these different things to figure out what they like and what makes them feel confident. And we do know, and we would hope that it's not these exterior things that make our feel kids feel confident, but let's be a realist. It is,
Right,
right? They care. And that's the other thing. When they start to care about what they look like, you kind of want to give them the freedom to explore different styles to see when they feel their best.
right, when they feel the most confident. Listen, being a kid is hard
Oh
enough,
my God.
and finding their own confidence and something that speaks to them, something they feel good about, that they've picked on their own. Well, thank God that was a false alarm. However, we have no clue what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
this
Is it
is where,
menopause brain? Is it
no, it's living in an older building that the fire alarm seems to be very sensitive. But I will say, I just got 6 flights of steps in and
All right, there you
going
go.
to
Silver lining,
check
Carrie.
out the situation. So,
Silver
if
lining.
I'm breathing really heavy, it's that. Anyway.
Okay, so let's going back to our topic at hand where we don't remember where we left off. So we'll start a new one. What happens if it's something, what do you think about acne?
Mm. Yeah, so
Because
I actually
your
we
body
yeah,
starts changing, going
yeah.
through I feel like actually puberty brings a lot of these discussions on facial hair, acne. I mean, for girls unfortunately get a little mustache too. Grooming techniques like your eyebrows,
Eyebrows,
tweezing,
yes,
waxing, whatever you
yes.
want. Is it a conversation? Is it pointing out you need to wash your face better? You need to go for a waxing. We need to go to a dermatologist to see about those pimples. What do you think about that?
Well, I am a really bad person to ask on the issue of acne and pimples because I could be Dr. Pimple Popper. Like we could have a whole nother series and episode about pimple popping
Johnny
and
would love to be your guest on that show. He loves it.
yes. So my children know this about me and they've known it from the get-go that I have a problem. Like it's almost like when I see a pimple, I'm like drawn towards it.
Oh,
And the
Carrie.
worst, I know it's disgusting. I could be standing next to a stranger in a line and
Oh my god.
it like calls me. Like and I'm like, "Oh my god." Like I literally have to practice like,
But you
"Okay, look
don't you
away,
please tell
look
me you
away."
don't. You show some restraint.
No, no, I would never. I would never. But okay, so
So did
pimples.
you run around chasing the kids when they were younger and had pimples? "Oh, let me get that one for you," or
So a little bit. Um,
okay,
but I think it would start with a conversation about that it's really important for us to wash our skin and clean our face. And I showed them my routine.
right.
Ken showed them his routine. Now, in our situation, Ken still to this day uses Proactive. So acne ran in his
Okay.
genetics.
Uh-huh.
So that was something we could share with the boys was, dad still could get a whopper on
Right,
his
right,
forehead.
right.
Um, sorry.
That's okay.
But, so, first we talk about
So
it
you
from a
used yourself
genetic.
as an
Yes.
example.
Yes.
Right.
Like this
Okay.
this
Role
could this
modeling.
could
Yep.
be a problem.
Right.
Um, then I actually did a little research because I think it was like if one of your parents had acne, then the child has a 50% chance. If both of them, like, it increases or
Right.
something like
Okay.
that. So they both
Had
have
it.
had acne. Um, so it started with this is how we properly wash our face. And, but like when they would get the big whoppers
Mhm.
or like a really deep blackhead,
Right.
right? I would say like we're not supposed to be picking, but yet at the same time, you can't like leave that bacteria like all in there. It does have to come out and it
Right.
doesn't always come out naturally. So, depending on their moods, depending on the time, they would allow me to attempt. Um, there were some really
Your
good
esthetician skills?
um, so we all kind of became comfortable with it. Like I would never in like a public setting or in front of their friends or a girlfriend be like, "Oh my god, I gotta get
Right.
that one, look at that. What's that? What's that shiner?" Devin did actually have he had one so big in middle school on his nose that someone else thought he had a shiny nose like, almost like, "Is that
Was
a
that your right,
diamond on your nose?" Like,
right,
made some comment, like, not making fun maybe they were
right.
making fun of him,
Well,
but
listen, kids we all know that kids can be cruel and do
correct.
pick on these things and do
Haha,
exploit your biggest insecurities. Absolutely.
pick on these things.
Ah, they no pun intended.
Alright. But yeah, so we made it just part of the routine as you go to the doctor, you go to the dentist, we would go to the dermatologist. And yeah, now one of them, like Ryan was more like, it's not good to pick, don't come near me. Devin from time to time, but now I'm blamed because now Devin's a picker. So, but I will take responsibility for that.
Okay.
Yes, that 100% is my fault.
Mhm.
Um, but no, I don't and I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud.
Right, 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 right.
Would
So
point out on them.
yep. So I'm thinking, is it better for us to point out what we consider flaws or to let our kids come to us when they find them? I feel like for the first early years of their life, it's our job to model, like you said, you showed them your skin time routine, washing their faces. It's our job to model, it's our job to educate and teach them about what's going on in their body and healthy habits. And then I think they need to take the lead when they become an age where they are aware of their appearance, when they start choosing the clothes that they want to wear, like you said, what makes them feel good, what
Mhm,
hairstyles they like. I do think there are certain times when we do have to intervene. Um, for example, like you just said, a big pimple like that.
mhm.
That's something that you want to address but in a kind way,
Yeah.
not sitting there poking fun of your kids, but, "Does that hurt? It looks like that one might hurt. Can I help you with that? Do
Mhm,
you want my help with that?" And this is something I said to the listener who stopped me for this conversation. Carrie and I are very big proponents on communication, and I would have a conversation with them about that when they're of a certain age.
mhm.
And you can put it on you. Listen, I know I do things that might not make you feel good, and I'm really trying hard not to. Ask them. If I notice that your teeth are looking a little yellow or that you have hair growing out of a certain mold, do you want me to tell you about it? Do you want me to bring it up to you? Or do you wanna just take the lead on it? And see
Yeah.
what your kid says. I
And
the we
and the answer could change, right? Their
Right,
answer as they mature could change. It could be, "No, leave me alone."
right.
Or it could be later on when they are now of dating age or they look in the mirror at themselves, right? So it's
They
sometimes
know, it's right,
they know it's there, sometimes they don't really care, other times it might be a sign that they're not feeling so great about themselves
right,
because they're just letting it go. But
right.
um yeah, I think we ask
Mhm.
we then have to follow their lead.
Right.
And, sometimes I fall right into that trap myself because I do have this pimple thing, this pimple obsession that
Right.
it's hard, but I do, know now that there's a time and a place. And unless now they're asking for assistance or talking
Right.
like I'm really struggling again with my acne or with my mustache or my hair growth or whatever
Right.
it is, do you have any suggestions or what do you do for that? Or sometimes what I might do is instead of saying it, I might point something out on myself
Right.
and
Yep.
say, God, I'm really having a hard time with this
Mhm.
and see if they say, "Oh, yeah, me too," or they completely disregard and ignore what you just said, then
Right. Right. Right.
they're not really interested. They're not looking for the feedback.
Right. Where do you think weight falls into this conversation? Like if your kid comes home from school and they like from college and you notice they've put on like 10, 15 pounds, do you point it out? And the opposite also, you have a child that comes home and has lost a substantial amount of weight. What do you do? What would you say to that one?
So, I don't think that it is appropriate to comment on their physical appearance, meaning you look thin, you look heavy. I would try in a conversation when and I would not do it the minute that they come home, let's say
Right.
from college.
Yep.
After you're with them a couple of days and you might notice their eating habits. So whether that's they're not eating at all, or when you sit down to have a meal, they're picking at their food, or you notice that they're at in the refrigerator at 1 and 2 a.m. repeatedly all for the week that they're home,
Mhm.
I would say you would go about it from a healthy eating standpoint. I noticed this, what's going on?
Right.
Not, "Oh, you look thin. How much weight did you gain?" Or, "That's a
Right.
lot of beer you're drinking."
Right.
Like
Or how do you feel? How are you feeling? Leave it at that and see how
yeah,
they answer. Or
yeah.
if you're going out if you yourself are going for a walk, "Hey, do you wanna take a walk with me?
Mhm.
I'm just going outside to move my body a little. Do you wanna come?" Something along those lines. But it's interesting because everything we're talking about today, like, we wouldn't go up to a stranger on the street and say these things. We wouldn't go up to friend I wouldn't say to you, "Hey, Carrie, you don't have any makeup on today. What's going on there? You feeling okay?"
You
It's not
could, because it's
I mean, I
true.
could, but you're in a place where you're a very confident woman who is comfortable in whatever they look like, so
And
that's not what's
everyone
important to you, but
today is just listening to me.
to
They're not looking at me.
right, but what I'm saying is, in society, we don't typically say the things to other people that we feel like it's
We
okay
just
to
say to
say
our
them
kids.
to our kids.
Mhm.
Why? That's, like, a really interesting phenomenon.
Mhm.
Do we see it
I
as a control over our kids? Do we see it as, quote, unquote, "our job" because they're our kids?
I think
I
so.
mean, think about it. Think about
And
how
I think we think that it's our job, and I think we're being that we think we're being helpful in some way.
right.
But,
But I think
that
it's a
might
good
be
rule of
the
thumb.
intent, but I don't know that we
Right.
are.
But I think it's a good rule of thumb. If it's not something you would say to anybody else, don't say it to your kid.
Mm.
Let them come to you.
Yep, yep.
All
Love
right.
them.
I
All
we
right.
just came to our answer. Okay,
That
so listener, when you hear this one, if it's not something you would say to somebody else, don't say it to your kid. Let them come to you. I think we can end on that.
that's a wrap.
And everything because everything else, you'll find out that when your kids are in therapy, when they're older, they'll be talking about all the things that you pointed out to them. So let it be somebody else they're talking about. I'm sure you'll give them plenty of other things.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks for listening. As always, please follow us on Instagram, Parent Coaches Unleashed. And if you have a question or a topic, as this listener did, please send us an email at info@parentcoachesunleashed.com. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parent Coaches Unleashed with Carrie and Jessica. Together, we can raise the next generation of independent, capable, and compassionate young adults.
We encourage you to send us an email with questions and feedback to info@parentcoachesunleashed.com. Please remember, you are not alone on this parenting journey.